Hello my friends, in the channel Psychological and Social Facts, an interesting topic, as usual, steps from psychology that make anyone love you against his will. Do you imagine that love is something that can never be controlled? Do you assume in the event that someone does not cherish you? Don't you ever make him love you? Do you think it is difficult to get someone to fall in love with you frantically and to experience feelings of affection for you to the place of a captive? If your answer is yes to these inquiries, then you are presumably to put as much faith and chance as many individuals, and we find that the vast majority also accept with you that adoration is like fate that cannot be changed, and that it is something that cannot be controlled. I was suspicious of it too, and admitted I was off the norm. However, extensive examination made over the past years has shown that affection can be controlled, and this should be possible by controlling the strength of the heart, as the issue is to use oneself in the right way. Moreover, you should realize that affection is similar to other human emotions, which we can look at in our usual routine, an example of these feelings being dread, stress, wish, nervousness, stress. All previous feelings we have some control over, and since adoration is located within these mental feelings as well, it can be additionally controlled, as affection and inclination can be easily controlled, such as the opportunity to control feelings of pressure, discomfort or dread and energy, and the problem here lies in what we have realized throughout our lives. We are undoubtedly convinced that adoration like fate happens, and we have nothing to do with it, which is not accurate. Since the truth of the matter is completely unique, and you can really take advantage of the brain's search for adoration to make someone fall head over heels for you. However, you must realize that this technique is not going to be 100% practical or foolproof, but in this way it will work inappropriately ordinary to your means, and surprisingly, double it up to get someone to love you, is worth a try. How would we become hopelessly enamored and the job of brain science in this? Before you contemplate figuring out how to make someone in particular go gaga for you and frantically enamored with you, you should initially investigate the mental side of him, and it doesn't have anything to do with the night in the evening glow, nor with appealing sentiments and enchanting words. Without contemplating this, you and anybody whose brain incorporates a rundown put away to them, and this rundown incorporates specific models, and these standards should be dealt with a ton before you fall head over heels for somebody, and clinicians call this rundown the affection map. Since in the event that an individual doesn't match at least one focuses in this rundown, that individual will naturally be rejected as an expected accomplice and darling, and he will probably stay just a companion. And this is the fundamental justification for why you might meet one individual while there are numerous others. You pick him and love him as opposed to the others in a similar spot. As a matter of fact, the agenda varies, starting with one individual then on to the next, and coming up next are the main components that are tracked down in this rundown: values, previous encounters and connections, previous encounters, convictions, information. This is additionally the justification for why your companion can experience passionate feelings for somebody who you consider conventional and not a huge deal, yet that individual has matched the guide of adoration and determinations in your companion's brain, not yours. And it should be realized that we have no cognizant information and material mindfulness the matching system that happens to us. It is done subliminally, without any hesitation. The psyche does everything naturally. Similarly, as the brain naturally suspects in your heart before you follow any way or settle on any choice, and in spite of the fact that you can't deliberately understand this, and this is the motivation behind why we go gaga for somebody yet we don't understand how this occurred, implying that your psyche is liable for your falling head over heels. This is the principal reason that adoration is a secretive peculiarity, and that many individuals decide their own destiny on it. However, truth be told, destiny doesn't have anything to do with adoration, in light of the fact that your psyche was the person who was pondering whether the individual before you coordinated his details with the agenda put away in the brain. And that's what the truth is, on the off chance that you understand that you are attempting to expand the place of consciousness of the principles and particulars of your inner mind, then you will actually want to know the reasons that made you love one individual and not another. In the following lines, we will show you an example of the checklist that we talked about above. Jimmy is a young 26-year-old who has graduated from college and worked in London, tired of not serious relationships and wants to start a new life. Jimmy's checklist includes the following conditions. They must have the same educational level. She must be a brunette. Jimmy had had an affair with a brunette in the past and the relationship failed, so Jimmy's subconscious included her on his checklist, an attempt to make up for his failed relationship with the brunette. She must be very close to her family. His family, children and family are very important to Jimmy, and he is looking for a girl who could potentially be a great mom, and as you can see, we are really drawn to people who have what we want, what they want, which is the main reason why this point is made. In Jimmy's list, she must be a travel lover. And if Jimmy is currently single, and is looking for his life partner, and has met a wonderful woman with red hair, then the chances of him not falling in love with her will be zero, and this is because she does not fit the specifications that fall on his own list, although he finds her cute. It is only when there is a person with most of the criteria on your list that you will fall in love with that person, as your subconscious associates itself with a particular person, and that is why you often find yourself unable to forget someone you loved with boundless love, even after many years of separation from each other. How to manipulate the mind to make someone fall in love with you. Meet different standard. The list of specifications is in all of our minds, and contains basic criteria that we expect to be fulfilled in the person standing before us before we fall in love with him. For example, he must love dogs. He must be active. He must be educated. Also, before you try to get someone to like you, do some research to find out what criteria they meet on your list, and all the basic information about their interests and background. Have him on your list, all the basic information about his interests and background, and the more you can know, the better for you, and try to meet his criteria that way. You have him on your list, all the basic information about his interests, his background, the more you can know the better for you, and try to work to meet his standards in this way to meet his unfulfilled needs. When a person is looking for a new partner for his life, he is trying to find someone who is very similar to him. He is looking for the strengths of his personality in this person, as well as the weaknesses of his personality in this person.
Dear friends, subscribe to my channel to support me. There is a lot of amazing information about psychology and sociology.